Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to lesson 4. In this lesson, we will be discussing the idea or the premise of a story. Now, what is an idea? The idea is the foundation on which you build your story. Think of it as the seed that you plant in the ground, then you water it, you nurture it until it grows into a buoyant tree with branches here and there. I know it's not like the most astute analogy, but it works, so why not? As long as you understand and you get the point that I'm trying to make. Okay, so this lesson is going to be all about how you can come up with an idea or ideas for your work. Going forward, you can always come back and practice what we discuss here. So we're going to look at how to brainstorm an idea, how to test your idea, the elements of a good idea. So let's get right into it. Now, how do you brainstorm an idea? You come up with ideas by employing various tools that we have all around us. Look around you there. Almost everything around you is or has the potential to be a good idea, the potential to make a good story. Okay, so you can look in books, for example. Think about, or you would agree with me that sometimes you get these ideas when you're reading a book, especially when you're reading a novel. You get ideas. Perhaps something happened to a character that you think, a character in the book that you think should not have happened to them. And you go like, okay, what if this did not happen to this character? How would the story have ended then? Okay, you can write about a similar theme or a similar topic, but from a different angle. Okay, so there are ideas in books. All you have to do is pinpoint when when you see that I think this thing that's coming to my head, it's looking like an idea. You write it down, document it, and then come back and brainstorm and interview the idea so that you know if it has potential to be a good story. Another tool you can employ is to make use of prompts. You can find prompts online. You can even find prompts by looking at images and pictures. Okay, when you see a prompt or when you get a prompt, try to flesh it out, and perhaps it could be the next big story or the next big book. Who knows? Another tool you can employ is to be observant of things that are happening around you. Be observant of things that are around you. You may be walking down the street and you see a man shouting furiously into his phone. Instead of only looking at the surface and moving on, think about it. Go a step further. Who is he? Why is he shouting into the phone? Why is he angry? Who is on the other side of the line? Is it his wife, his mother, or child? Allow your mind to wander as far as it can go. Allow your mind to wander as far as it can go. Then you see that you could come up with the premise of something that would be a good story. It could be riding on an elevator and you're in there with a young man that is looking into his notes intermittently and mumbling to himself. And then you could go like, who is he? Why is he doing what he's doing? Is he going for an interview? Is he studying for an exam? Or is he going to pitch? Maybe he has a job and he's going to pitch an idea to his bosses. Okay, it could be something like that. Anything your mind comes up with, just try to go with the flow and make sure to document it. Okay, it could be the next idea for your story. The last thing I would like you to use to employ is to ask questions to other people. You can ask, they could be your friends, your co-workers, your family, or anybody. Okay, if you have the seed for an idea, if you get an idea, you could ask them, okay, what is your opinion? What do you think about so and so? Make sure to document what they say, ask their opinions, document their opinions, and then go back to the drawing board afterwards and pick out what you feel is viable, what you think would work to provide or produce a good story. Now that we know how to come up with an idea, we have to look at the elements of a good idea. How do you know that the idea that you have is a good idea? Number one, it will refuse to let go. The idea keeps nagging you. When you sleep, you think about it. Maybe when you dream, you could even dream about it. When you're talking, you just find out, it just pops into your head. It does not let go. Okay, you think about it all the time. You cannot wait to write it. You cannot wait to write it. You feel like, if I do not write this thing, I don't know what will happen. Okay, so when you have an idea that keeps bugging you, know that it's probably a good idea. Another characteristic of a good idea is that it excites you. When you think about it, you feel this rush of excitement. You feel happy. You feel you can't wait to put pen to paper to start writing. You can't wait for the world to read it. Okay, so you feel excited. Okay, you are on top of the world whenever you're thinking about it, like, wow, I cannot wait to put this down. It feels so huge in your head. You see the picture clearly in your head, and you're excited when you think about it. So if the idea that you have does that to you, then it's probably a good idea. And the last thing is that the scope widens. Every other idea that you come up with from the main premise, that first idea that you got, it sparks two more ideas. Okay, when you think about it and you ask, what if this happens? What if that then happens? Oh, when that happens, and then this other thing happened. Okay, you keep getting more and more ideas when you think about it. Okay, it's not something that just fizzles out after a short period of time. No, you keep getting ideas of what to add to it. Okay, you keep adding stuff to it. Okay, and when you have an idea that you keep adding stuff to, it doesn't just die out, it's probably a good idea. Now, you have the idea, you think it's a good idea. How do you then test it? You keep raising the stakes. Now, this applies to whether you're writing a fiction piece or work or a non-fiction work. Okay, if your work is fiction or non-fiction, this works. Now, I'll give you an example with a non-fiction idea. Assuming you get an idea to write a book about how to write a book. Okay, now you can raise the stakes by saying or changing your topic to how to write a good book. Okay, now I'm going to raise the stakes again. Okay, it's good how to write a good book. People would probably want to read that. But what if I change my topic to how to write a good book that becomes a bestseller? You would agree with me that that topic, would definitely, the content for each of those topics will be different. How to write a book, that's just simple. How to write a good book, you'd put in more elements about how to write a good story. And how to write a good book that becomes a bestseller is, the content will be mind-blowing. But what if I decided to raise the stakes even more and I said and I changed my topic to how to write a good book that becomes a bestseller in 30 days or less. Now, I know this is not, we're not debating whether that topic is something that is possible or not. No, that's not what we're debating. Okay, but all I'm trying to say is keep raising the stakes of your idea. And like I said in the last slide, if that idea that you have is something that you can keep adding stuff to and it still makes sense, it still feels viable, then it is a good idea. Okay, so I think I'm going to give a fiction example now. Okay, for the fiction example, let's think about, assuming you think about a character. Let's name the character Abdullah. Okay, and Abdullah is in his house, is in his room, he's just, browsing the internet, and then suddenly he gets an email. Abdullah gets an email. That's the premise, that's the main idea, the first idea that you got. Abdullah gets an email. Okay, let's raise the stakes. What if the email he got was something unexpected from a job application that he applied to for like months ago, not expecting any response, and then he just got the email. Now he opens the email, and what did he find? He finds that he has been accepted for the job and has been invited to, no, he's not accepted for the job, he has been invited for an interview. Yes, let's put it that way. He has been invited for an interview. Oh, Abdullah is so excited now, but let us raise the stakes a little more. What if the interview is slated for 12 p.m. and it's currently 9 p.m. Abdullah, in Abdullah's world, in the time Abdullah's world, it's 9 p.m. It's 9 a.m. sorry, and the interview has been slated for 12 p.m. Abdullah, the stakes have been raised now. He has to, get out of the house fast to get to the interview. Now I'll raise the stakes a little more now. I'll raise them even more. What if the email Abdullah got was actually a ruse, by his friend, and that friend of his wants Abdullah to get out of the house for reasons best known to him. And when I want to think about reasons, I'll raise the stakes even higher. Why would Abdullah's friend want him out of the house so badly? Well, maybe he wants to plan a surprise for him and he doesn't want him to be in the house. Or it could be that he wants, maybe some unscrupulous elements to come into the house and get carried away with everything that Abdullah has, gathered. Okay, so I could go on and on, but you get my drift. Keep raising the stakes for your idea, and then you'll see that a seemingly simple idea could turn out to be, the next blockbuster or the next big hit. Okay, you saw that what we started with then was Abdullah got an email. Abdullah received an email. That seemed simple, right? But when we kept raising the stakes, it began to feel more interesting. Okay, so I hope you understand that and you'll be able to apply it in your own brainstorming. Now, the exercise for this lesson is for you to brainstorm your own idea. Now, I would like for you at this juncture to open up a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document, whatever you use, whatever word processing document you use. Open it up and come up with 3 different ideas for 3 different stories. So when you come up with, so you could even come up with more than 3, but the point is that I'll need you to sift through these ideas that you come up with and choose the one that excites you most, the one that, evokes the most emotion in you. Okay, I want you to choose that one and write about it. Write 750 words. Okay, come up with 750 words. Choose words that that are vibrant and that are descriptive, that will use imagery, okay, that will make your reader experience the story that you're trying to tell. Okay, so if you're in the coaching call, you will be turning this exercise in for us to analyze it during the manuscript makeover session. So please make sure to complete this exercise. Brainstorm an idea or brainstorm ideas. Choose the one you think is best and write 750 words from it. Okay, so this is the last video or the last lesson in this module. I will see you in module 2. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.